am the love lady, Juli Martin, and today the guides have asked me to talk about the singular quest of our lives to be uniquely and beautifully who we are. And this is surprisingly difficult in a world, in a society in which we are raised to mimic those we see around us. Certainly our parents, but also adults and our peers and those even who we see in media, on TV and movies and video. We are, especially in the modern world, bombarded with images of people, other people, real and imagined, fictitious and in thin slices of people who exist in the real world, but we only see just the tiniest aspects of them. And this creates an interesting problem for us in that we are called to get along, right? We're called to participate in community and behave with a certain amount of decorum and politeness and manners and thoughtfulness and within some often unspoken boundaries of social norms and social mores. And while all of that is important for our being able to collaborate with other people, to move forward on projects together, to co-create the world in any number of ways, that in our families and our communities, and as a larger society and as a even larger humanity, and all of that is important. And also it can be so challenging to discern where you as an individual end and begin, and where that society, that mimicry, that following on, that living out patterns that you've learned and inherited consciously and not, and I don't know if you've had this experience of catching yourself doing or saying something that you reflect back on later and think to yourself, I don't believe in that. That is, I don't have a sense that that's who I am in any meaningful way. And you sort of know, like you can feel into that you're running a program somehow. You're running someone else's reality or some other energy signature from the culture or an emotion that's floating around in the culture that is not you. It is an emotion that has taken you over, right? If you've ever done something, oh, I don't know, like send a text, send an angry text message to somebody, or um, send an email in a state of extreme upset, right? Have you ever done anything like that where you've been like, where you're just aware that you were sort of taken over by something that is not in alignment with your values, not in alignment with sort of the felt sense of who you deeply are in the core of yourself? Then you know how challenging this can be. And so this is an invitation to give yourself the gift of taking as much time and space for yourself to clear out the noise, to clear out your energy field in whatever ways you most like to do this. Dance, movement, any kind of movement practice, exercise that works for you to move the emotional energy, stuck energy, the signatures of other people, the tethers that you might have to people that you've interacted with, at any point recently or in your whole life, or even your ancestors, right? It is not your responsibility to carry forward or live out the programs of other people, living or long deceased. You get to be here creating and living out the absolutely unique configuration of elements that you are. And once you've sort of cleared that physical body out, finding your way into your heart center, into the depths of this mysterious and magical being, sort of feeling into the most deep internal construct of the internal universe that is you, that is your center, that inhabits you, is the invitation to feel into who you are. What is there inside you that is beyond the emotions? What is before and beyond your thoughts? What is there after everything else falls away? And when you feel your way into that, because this is not a thinking thing, there's no mechanism of the mind that's going to get at this, and it's going to drive your mind a bit crazy to try. And so re-inviting the mind to be silent, right? And if you've got a bit of nature, if you've got an animal that lives in your life, or there's some wild flora and fauna around you anywhere, if there's a tree that you connect with or a grove of trees that you resonate with, if you have a house plant, I mean, any living, thriving being. And for this purpose, maybe not a human being, because the complications there make it more difficult for us to feel into our absolute uniqueness. But the energy of an animal or a plant, and feeling into its essence and who it is, trying to put yourself, dislocating yourself from your normal posture and perspective and putting it into that of a favorite animal or plant or tree for just a bit, and checking out reality, checking out how it feels, what the perspective is, how it looks, what it sounds like, how it tastes, how it lives to be other than human, and certainly other than you, is such a valuable way to feel into, to sense into, to experience into beingness that is beyond thought, underneath thought, beyond emotion, underneath emotion, beyond training, learning, mimicking, and underneath it. And after you've played around for a while as an animal, as a plant, as a tree, then come back to yourself and check it back out from that perspective. And what's there? Who's there? How's there? What's going on in there? And as you allow yourself to do this more and more, who's there? What's there? What inhabits that deepest essence of you is inevitably going to change and expand and move and flow, because we are particle and wave. We are fixed and constantly in motion. And this paradox that we are utterly unique and constantly changing is fascinating and beautiful. And if we can allow ourselves to appreciate ourselves as unique configurations of a billion colors of rainbow light, a billion of the most refined elements of hues of light that is constantly in flux and constantly changing and constantly flowing, but also perpetually beautiful. And when you are feeling overwhelmed or lost or confused or just off your path, out of alignment, and you need to find your way back to a sense of peace, wholeness, harmony with life itself, with your life, this can be a beautiful few minutes way to find the essence of who you are, the blessing of who you are in this moment, the particular solidity of who you are in this body, in this moment, in your humanity, right now. And if you have the eyes to watch this, and you have the spaciousness to hear this, and you have the opportunity to be with this, then you are in a safe moment where you can be still, be present, be the light, be the rainbow, be the particle and the wave, and feel your way, experience your way, sense your way into the depth of your uniqueness. Nobody in the history of all of the billions and billions and billions of people that have ever lived and that will ever live will ever be exactly who you are right now in this moment. And that is a profound truth, but also a profound testament to your genius. No one has access to all of your history and your stories and how they've changed and informed you, how you remember them or choose not to. All of the many influences that you have before, during this particular incarnation of specifically you. And if you'd like your life to look different in some way or some ways than it does now, you also have the opportunity to take all of those threads of who you are and weave them into a new pattern using new tools, using new knowledge, bringing forth more of your genius, and pointing that attention in a different direction, such that when you revisit this exercise, when you sit in a moment of quiet solitude tomorrow, who you are will be entirely different then from who you are now. And again in a week, and again in a month, and again in a year. And a year, two from now, as you continue to feel into, experience into, celebrate into your own incredible genius, your own incredible love light, the magnificent gift that is who you are, and your willingness to share that gift in whatever ways that calls you to share. Whether that's just with one other person, whether that is through some kind of art, through some kind of communication tool, whether that is channeled through some other means, through community, through family, through a child, through however you feel most deeply called to allow the transmission, allow the transmutation to flow from you and out into the milieu, into this massive ocean of humanity. The transformation that inevitably will occur to you will have you reflecting back at who you were right now today in wonder at how different you are, how different you were then from who you are now. And with that, I hope that has been helpful. I hope you find yourself inspiring. I hope you find yourself as magnificent a genius as all of your attending guides and angels and ancestors do. And with that, I wish you a love-filled day, a love-filled week, and a love-filled life.